Hey Ian, it's Mike again.
Hi, Mike.
I'm a minute late. Sorry about that.
It's alright. I've been a couple minutes late to your place, so it's not a big deal.
All good. Okay, so I have Jesse on the other line. Hold on, and let me merge the calls, okay?
Alright.
Alright. Alright, Mr. Olson, I've got Jesse on the line. He's my supervisor. And just by way of background, we looked into what we can and cannot provide based on your requests, and we just wanted to touch base with you, and then just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
How's it
okay.
going, Mr. Olson?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. I don't believe I've had the opportunity to meet you in person, and you're coming up here on your discharge date in March, so I don't know if I will get that opportunity. But you're definitely welcome to come in and meet with me in person if you would like.
I'm always open to friendly conversations.
So I was just reviewing actually a memo that was going to the court. We were requesting a hearing regarding the modification of some of your conditions of supervision.
Yeah.
And so I had that in conjunction with the request that you submitted to Mike, the Freedom of Information Act, Privacy Act request. So I guess I wanted to kind of touch base with you, see where we are with this, see what needs to be addressed, see what we can satisfy, amongst us, or determine what we need to present to the court that the court will have to deal with. That's kind of why I requested to have the call. I was just wanted to understand where you were with things, and if we were able to come to some sort of an agreement, or if we needed to have the court make decisions. That make sense?
Yes.
To start this conversation, first and foremost, that the United States courts is not subject to the Freedom of Information Act or the Privacy Act. I do. It's 5 U.S.C.
5 U.S.C.
551.
551.
And then it's 1B.
1B.
That part of that statute will that shows like different agencies that aren't subject to the Freedom of Information Act. And you'll notice that the second one is the courts of the United States. The first one's Congress, and so on and so forth. You'll see other agencies that don't fall under that chapter.
Okay.
But with that being said, there's some information I feel like we could share with you if you need. I'm trying to understand what you all want or need. And so if you're looking for all content of your supervision, you listed quite a bit of things here in this request. If you're looking for all of that, then I think I'll just have the court rule on that, because like communication and emails and text, like I don't even know that we would be able to provide that to you very well.
I understand that.
Like you've obviously received the emails and texts at one point. So are you requesting all basically all of the following documents from when you started February 7th of 21, or is there certain documents that you want that would be enough to satisfy you so we could
well, I mean, I was looking for mostly, a copy of my PSI and the incident report. That, the reports that say, I was, very cooperative and respectful and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So those types of reports, I'm going to tell you that those you'd have to go to those departments. Like we wouldn't be a record keeper for those types of reports. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, like, if we get something, like Brookfield PD would be the
source.
The source, or that's theirs to give, and you would be able to request that and likely receive that from them. So I can tell you, like, that's likely not going to be approved. Would be things that you can request from other agencies that those documents are the property of that agency.
What about a list of, all the departments and agencies that have contacted you so I can go to them? Because I don't know if like Elkhorn or other police departments.
Well, we will have that, and we will list that. We'll share that information with you in our violation report.
Okay.
So, I mean, when I was looking at your violation report, there's really not that significant in number.
Yeah, he's done really well overall.
You've done quite well, and really the writing of the armories that we're talking about in this latest violation report isn't necessarily a violation of your supervision.
Yeah, I know
you haven't done anything lawfully incorrect.
I kind of know that. That's why I don't understand why I'm trying to change my conditions.
But what they have asked, and what's their right, is they have asked that you not have contact with them forthcoming. Right?
Okay. So, I kind of see that as
what you've done to this point, as it relates to writing them and things, hasn't been an issue. But if they request that you not contact them, and then you contact them, then it becomes either, if you would go there, it could be a trespassing issue, or if you continue to contact them after being asked not to, it becomes a harassment type issue.
I understand that. I mean, okay. I'm not looking to go there and trespass and everything, but what I don't understand is, from what I understand is I have the First Amendment right to not only have freedom of speech, but to protest and redress or petition for redress of grievances against the government, and they are an entity of the government, are they not?
Okay.
So,
the military?
Yeah.
Yeah, the military is a brand is runs under the government.
I mean, my letters consist of a story and an apology, forgiveness letter, things like that. Mm-hmm. But them, pretty much ordered me to have no contact and threatened me with whatever. That still goes against
my...
What
have you been threatened with? Because we're not looking to revoke or have any issues with your supervision.
Well, I mean, the department, I staged a little silent protest outside their doors because I was trying to find out the truth about a lie that was conveyed to Mike, about me asking them to step outside, which is not the case. They asked me to step outside. And, they just pretty much locked their doors and whatnot, so I sat on a bench silently outside their door, and they called the police on me, and then I was told if I returned, that I would be arrested. And technically, the government doesn't own that piece of property where their offices are. They lease the offices, but the bench I was sitting on, it is private property, it is, but it's not the government's private property.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I don't know that you'd have been arrested had you been sitting on public property, but I'm not sure. I wasn't involved with that incident.
I understand that, I do, but...
to me, is becoming a little bit of the issue is you're having some interactions with other law enforcement. I feel like we're getting lumped in as your supervision officers, that it's causing some sort of unnecessary strain or miscommunication.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm just, was silently protesting a lie that was conveyed to you guys. It just paints me in a bad picture, and I've had plenty of lies being fabricated and my words being twisted by the FBI and perpetrated through news, and it makes me look like a terrible person, which I'm not. And after the lies stack up enough, I feel the need to, protest and petition a, redress of grievances, which is underneath my First Amendment right, and then, they use another law enforcement entity to just remove me because to them I'm a problem.
Right. So, and you're right, you have certain rights under the Constitution, and sometimes when you've been convicted of a crime, which you have been, and you're on supervision, like a probation or a supervised release, sometimes your constitutional rights become a little more limited while you're on supervision, or say you're in prison, right?
Yeah, I mean, I understand
like right
that.
now, you don't have the constitutional right to vote when you're on supervision in Wisconsin.
But I mean, don't I have the First Amendment constitutional right still?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So sometimes things get limited, and based on your crime and the characteristics of, we feel it's in your best interest, and the best interest going forward, that between now and the discharge, now in March, that you cease to have contact.
I mean, I'm okay with doing that
based on their request. Now, we're not saying indefinitely.
I mean,
we are going to encourage you to be a law-abiding citizen from here forth. We hope you will. We're pretty confident that you will.
That's my only plan is, resolve conflict through peaceful means.
So what Mike and I are meeting with you about, and what we're working on, is to get to you to be in a good spot personally, and to be able to follow somewhat of directives as it relates to, if someone doesn't want you on their property, you don't go on their property. Now, you can argue if it's public or private, and that will be between you and local law enforcement. Mike and I aren't going to get into that.
But I mean, the probation office is kind of going a step beyond that, and you're trying to place me under house arrest all the way through my, thing, which isn't that long, but still it makes life a little more complicated.
Yeah, well, not really house arrest. I believe, aren't you on curfew?
No, at the moment,
no.
I'm still on house arrest.
No, it's still home detention, yeah.
Okay. So, is that part of your concern? Is, like, what is your concern right now?
That I'm being punished for merely using my First Amendment right, and you're trying to take away my First Amendment right along with my freedom. I can understand not to contact, stop the letters, contact, and everything, but that still doesn't take away the fact that, you're taking away my freedom of travel to be able to go out and about.
Right.
Well, Ian, at first we talked about how the proposed modification was just sort of like a written reiteration of kind of what I was telling you to stop doing, which was writing the letters to all those places. So that isn't, I wouldn't say that's too like onerous or restrictive. But now what I hear you saying is that you have a concern with the more limitation of your movement. That's more of a concern for you.
Yeah, it was supposed to come off February 11th.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And you're on till when?
March 10th.
So 1 extra month. I mean, frankly, that's good. I don't know that you need to be on home detention. Part of the GPS for me was to make sure that you're not going to these places that you agree to not go to. But I think that's frankly, there isn't a significant amount of violations here. The travel to the Eastern District was a little troublesome to me, but it sounds like you were relatively, you were fine and you listened to directives, if I recall correctly. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I apologize if I created trouble for you. I don't mean to. I don't. But I tend to for other people, apparently. Unintentionally.